Hello. Hello, everyone. Good day. If you're here and you can hear me, say hi. Say hi so that I will know that you can hear me very well. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, Fajira. How are you doing? Fajira, good day. Welcome to my live streaming. Welcome. How are you doing? Can you hear me? Fajira, can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, can you just say yes or no if you can hear me? Fajira, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, good evening, Eric. Yeah, welcome, Kate. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Andy. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Guys, you're welcome to my live streaming. Thank you, Fajira. I can see you say you can hear me. Thank you so much for confirming that. And welcome everyone to my live streaming today. If you are here in this live streaming, you are highly welcome. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Relax yourself. Hello, Uju. Thank you so much for coming in. Lafi, thank you so much. Sylvia, I can see you. Thank you for coming in. And Chukuma, thank you so much for tuning in today's live streaming. Yeah, please, guys, you're highly welcome. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, my name is Wendy, and in this channel, I talk about my lifestyle as an immigrant living here in Canada with my family, and also how you can move to Canada and how you can settle very well in Canada and all that. So please, if you are new to my channel, you are highly welcome. I really appreciate you for tuning in today. And this is going to be a very interesting topic that we'll be talking about today. I know a lot of people have been asking for information around this, but I was like, I'm going to try. So today we are going to be talking about a very important information which I know so many people out there, even those that are planning on coming to Canada, they have been asking me these questions. Most of them have been sending me emails, DM, and all that. And even those that are living right here in Canada, they still ask this question over and over and over and over again. So I felt like, it would be nice if I would get someone that is into the business that knows it very well. And that is why I am here today. And we are going to be talking about how you can navigate things that you need to know regarding to Canadian real estate, by owning your own home, or maybe you want to rent a house. There are certain things that you need to know, which I know a lot of you has been asking me this question. So today we are going to be delving into it, and whatever question you have, please do well to drop it in the comment box, and I will be here to also we are going to be responding back to you regarding to those questions. Okay, yeah, and I promise you it's going to be so interactive. It will be interesting, and you are not going to leave this live streaming without getting one or two. All right, so without talking too much, I'm going to introduce to you a well-known person here in Canada that honestly, when you talk about real estate in Canada or in GTA, I would definitely recommend Kate to you because I know that she's someone that knows her onions very well. She has been into this business for some time, and I believe having her today in this live streaming, she will be able to, touch base to some of those questions that you guys have been triggering, trying to know what and what around real estate and owning a home in Canada. Like when some people, if you are a new immigrant or you're planning on coming to Canada, this is one very thing that I know a lot of people, they will be like eager to have. Owning a home in Canada is not just to own a home, but it's an investment. It's something that's worth having. If you are a Canadian or if you are an immigrant living here in Canada, or you are planning on coming to Canada, this is an investment that you can never regret having. So, in today, I have here with me Kate, who is a real estate realtor, and she has been into this business, like I said, for some time now. So, I'm going to allow her to introduce herself while we move forward. Okay, over to you, Kate.
Thanks, Wendy, for having me. Hi,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
My name is Kate Ada. I'm a realtor in the GTA in Toronto. And prior to that, I've been an interior designer. So I've had experience with the house market. And so it's been something of my journey from Canada, from being a renter, a house owner, to an investor. So I've gone through all the phases of real estate, and I'm here and happy to share with everyone how to be able to be successful or to know when to come into the market.
Awesome. That is amazing. I'm so happy to have you today. Kate, really, really happy to have you today. So, when you talk about real estate or owning a home in Canada, there are so many things that people will keep asking, and again, coming in as a new immigrant, I see that this has been one question that people love to find out what and what, how can I go about owning a home or maybe renting a house here in Canada. So as a new immigrant coming into Canada, or even someone that have stayed here for some time, but they still have these triggering questions to ask, how can, as a new immigrant, what do you think that are the criteria for someone to buy a house or maybe rent a house here in Canada?
So one of the key things is actually making sure you qualify. So that
Okay.
will be able to advise you on how much what you have available to buy a house. So rule number one is get a pre-approval. Make sure you know what the bank is ready to loan you. Based on
Mhm.
that amount, you're now able to look for a house. One
Okay.
funny thing in Canada is like the house prices are, it all depends. They can be very high and location matters. So, some new immigrants, my advice to new immigrants coming in, we do have people, maybe they've had friends that stay here for a long time and they say, oh, you coming here, oh, you're closer to the city and all that. The closer to you are to the city, the more expensive it becomes.
Oh.
So, and you have to earn, you have to be able to earn a certain amount of money to be able to get a mortgage. So for newcomers, especially if you come as a PR, you do have the 5% initiative that they give to first home buyers. And as a new immigrant, you have up to, let's say if you stay in BC or Toronto, you have up, maybe your earning household, if you earn up to 150,000 or less, you actually have access to the first time initiative, which is 5% of the first 500. In other parts of Canada, it's 120,000. So it's that combined income, and then you have access to the first time home buyer incentive. So when you come in, where your earning power, that is the if you get a good job,
Okay.
maybe if you're married or you're with your partner, uh, you are able to go to the bank and the bank will be able to approve you. Let's say with the current interest rate, you come in with 150, maybe the bank approves you for 500. My advice is always look for what it will buy and identify what is your family, how many are you, what units do you want, so you know that and know your why. Why do I need a house? We have different scenarios why you need a house. Some people, what do I need in my house? Understanding my why and not someone else's why. Some people might just want a big kitchen, so you're looking for a house with a big kitchen. Some people might want a big yard. You might look. Some people might be like, I've had clients that want to stay in the city because they're single, so they want to stay. You want, maybe you just, you are looking for a good school for your child. Those are different things. But even with that amount of money, you're able to get yourself a house maybe a bit farther away from the city. So with 500, because you might be here, oh no, you can't buy a house in Canada. Oh no, it's 1 million. It's no. Even if I always, and this was what the advice I advised myself when I came to Canada, no matter what you have, even if you're pre-qualified, it will get you a house in Timbuktu, no matter how far it is. Get yourself, invest in a place. If you can't live there, you can rent it out. And then come to a city and stay while your equity grows. When you're ready, you can sell that house and based on that equity, acquire what you want. And one of the feedback I get from people from coming into the country, they will tell you, oh, hey, it's 30 minutes, it's too far. 40 minutes is too far. The other day I was having discussion with Wendy. One perspective I should let people know, when you hear, oh, you are 40 minutes from Toronto, oh, it's too far. Wendy and I think we're like 40 minutes. But I can go to Wendy's place today, come back 2 times. Yeah. It's okay. I feel like maybe when you people think that when you hear 40 minutes, like traffic is, no, it's so smooth. You actually go from one place to the other without any problem. We come in with so much assumptions that we lose opportunities. So my advice to first home buyer, first get your mortgage, get that. And please, as a first-time home buyer, please don't come and get into and buy a car. Those are some of the things that affect us when trying to get a mortgage. Because then when you get finance for the car, those things have, let's say you don't have a car, you go in and you get 500,000. And you just buy yourself one just cash, one small car to take you and your family. You cannot also get those cars at a very cheap 3,000 for just enough. That 500 you can get it, but then if you earn the same amount and maybe you've been dreaming of a Range Rover, you went to take Range Rover, the car people, they are very happy to give you those cars. Maybe it takes you 100,000. They just say, oh, just put 2,000 and you pay this. That has already affected your borrowing power because that is your 500 minus 100,000. So you're left with 400 and that will affect it. One thing you should know is that with the house purchase, that is an investment, is an asset. Your car is a depreciating asset. So over time, your stock, you're not able to get what you want. And then you're paying monthly. It adds up. We come from back home, we say, oh, it's just 100,000, it's just $100, it's just $20, it's just $10. Those things add up. And those are the things that affect your buying power. And when you come in, one thing again that affects, even when you get a mortgage, the rate is your credit score. Make sure you have good credit score. Yes, it's good to get credit card. Use the credit card. Those things help you build your credit score, but pay it back. You build your credit score. Don't collect their money and don't pay back. It will affect, it will haunt you at the back. So when you're a new person coming to Canada, my 2 advice to you is please buy a house before you buy a car. Cars have affected a lot of people. 2, please get a credit card. There are some people that come and say, oh, me, I don't borrow. I can never borrow. You need to collect that card. That helps you build your credit score. Just be paying it back. Then with those good credit score, that is what the bank will be able to give you mortgage and give you a very good rate. And for those that will come and say, free money, they will pay, collect it and not pay back. My brother, the day of reckoning is coming in front. You will, it will affect you henceforth. So my advice to you is that, and please always try to focus where your money will take you. So if the bank gives you 500 and you are going to look for 1 million house, just know that you should have another 500 in your pocket to add. They are not going to add anything for you. Nobody is going to help you. So please, and we will always, there are places away. Like I'm in Hamilton. I'm far away from, I'm almost like an hour from Toronto. It's when you hear that Toronto, as I am, I can count in how many fingers, how many times I go to Toronto. The way the Canadian economy is built, every area is enough for you. The Walmart in the city is the same close to you. The schools are close to you. The store is close to you. Like the way Canada works, nobody lives in an area. They say, oh, it's only in this place you will go, you will see this store. No, everything is everywhere. And you will always build your economy. Nigerians are all over the place. You will always build your own community that you don't even need to come into the city, and you'll be self-sufficient. So it's very important. Let's not be carried away with other people or an intention of this. Let's try to work, start your own community, and later on you build on real estate. If your intention is to move closer to town, build equity, and with that equity you start coming. And then we have different kind of houses. We have a townhouse, we have a detached, we have semi, all we have different kind of houses, and those houses actually impact the cost of it. So in a nutshell, I just will say know your why and make sure you work on your credit.
Wow, 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 wow. You are spot on. Honestly, you nailed it. When you talked about knowing your why, anyway, thank you so much, Kate, for that. Well explained. When you talk about knowing your why, I was like, and again, not going, some people will say they want to go for a big kitchen, they want to go for a big backyard, not knowing that the more you are going for all those, the more the prices are increasing.
Yeah.
So you need to know what exactly do you want. And again, looking at your pocket, will you be able to afford it? If the answer is yes, why not? You go for it. I'm just this kind of person that has like a very big kitchen, and also a big backyard. But sometimes when you check and like you said, check your pockets and know if what you have exactly will be able to cater for the home you are going for. That will help you. Thank you so much for that. Well explained. And you made mention of something which struck my mind. You said that you need to know the size of your family will determine again. So when it comes to size of family, will size of family determine the kind of house or home that I will go for? Like number of people in a home, does it have anything to do with the kind of home I'm going to go for if I am looking out to get a new house?
Yes. So in Canada, the normal rule for occupants of a room is at least two. So, and this impacts even the rental market. So, in
Okay.
cases where some people have 4 children with the parents six, you say you're looking for 2 bedroom, no landlord will give you their home. And this thing actually also applies. So, for them is so it's if you're a family of 4 kids, and the you can do a 3 bedroom. So averagely we're looking at 2 people per room. But when they get over 18, the expectation is 2 people in a room that are not of the same sex should not share a room when they're over 18. So let me give you a scenario. A family that has a parent and 4 girls will look for a 3 bedroom. A family that has the parents with 3 girls and 1 boy, that will be a 4 bedroom. That is the standard because the boy will have his own room, the girls can share. So those things actually impact. It impacts even in the rental market. So you don't go, we have what we say when a house is over or when it's under. Over is when you are living in a 5 bedroom with one child. Or and when it's under is in a 5 bedroom, 1 or 2 kid. If it's under, that means we're looking at your so much. I've had people reach out to me looking for rental and they say, oh, I have 3, I have 4 children, we just want a 2 bedroom. I tell you that it's not, no landlord will give you that kind of thing, because everybody is looking at the impact on their property and even the city. So it's something that it's always better for you, if you know you're a bigger family, always aim to make sure that at least you have 2 kids in one room. In cases, and it depends on the style of home that you pick. Most 2 bedrooms and 1 bedrooms are normally condos and apartments. When you're looking at 3 bedrooms, that's when you go into townhouses which have basement or a detached or a semi, which you can make extra rooms in the basement. So yes, it actually, the amount of individuals in the family affects the property that you're going for.
Wow, that's nice. Thank you so much, Kate. That reminds me, I could remember when we came in here newly, we were looking for an apartment. I think that was a condo.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that we got, it was a 2 bedroom, but honestly speaking, they refused giving us the house. They said, why? Because the number of my family size is much that we needed to have like 3 bedroom before we can, move into the house. And I was like, why? And now you said this, which made me to still remember that, yes, it's possible that the size of your family size will also determine the kind of home you will be going for, which is very, very important when you're looking out for buying a house or maybe renting a home here in Canada. Is very important that you check all those, because now they don't want you to have like two different your a boy and a girl staying in one room, then the other one, where's the other baby is going to stay, assuming you have like 4 kids. So it's always important that you factor in those before you now make your decision in terms of the home you're going for, which makes so much sense. Okay, so I have a question in the chat, and I think the person talked more of is talking about you. 1 second, let me read. Hi, Kate. Can you give us a comparison? Okay, comparison between Quebec and Toronto in terms of the house. What
So
do you have to say about that?
one of the things is, the good news is Quebec is actually the cheapest city in Canada. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that it's a French-speaking city. It
Yeah.
depends where you're coming from. I don't know. If you speak French, that would be a good place. It's the rental, it's one of the lowest in the market. Over the years, it has just increased by 0.7%, which is great. It's been stable. Toronto, it's more of a bigger city. The economy is bigger, opportunities are better, work, English, we're English speaking. So it's a lot of community. It depends where you're coming from. A lot of, if it's from people from, let's say, from Nigeria, I will say a lot of Nigerians are more here. If you're going to go to Quebec, you have to deal with having to learn French, speak French, and being able to manage. They don't have so much opportunities as we have here. Our income is a lot better than what they had. I will give you an example. There was a time I went to Montreal with my family, and I met a friend of mine in the train, my schoolmate. And he said he was in Montreal. And I was like, oh, great, you're in Montreal. And we got talking and we were comparing salaries. And I realized that what he was earning was literally half of what we earn in Toronto. And I was like, what are you doing here? Please pack and come and see. He was like, no, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. I say, see, I always give this example. For example, I grew up in Abuja. Let me say I lived in Abuja but grew up in the north, in Kaduna, which is not too far from Abuja. And I say, you see, the thing is, or those of you that are in Lagos, the thing is, it's so funny how a rent in Abuja for a 2 bedroom at one point was 1.2, but I could just drive 2 hours and go to Kaduna and buy a house for 800,000.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so funny that the person in Kaduna cannot raise 800,000 to buy a house. You in the Abuja 1.2, you are paying. That is, it's so funny how God meets your need at that point. People say, how Toronto people straight, how do you survive? I don't know, but we get it done. Sometimes you take the challenge and the opportunities come for you to be able to meet those demands. So it all depends. One key question when landing into Canada is to ask yourself, what is important? An income or a home? What do you want to live in house, or you want to get a good job? But I'll let you know that getting a good job will help you get a good house. So it's all very important. But yes, there are two both fantastic cities, and I will still go back to you knowing your why and if you're able to cope.
Awesome, 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 awesome. That's great. Thank you so much, Kate, for nailing those that question. Yeah, and I do have other question in the chat, but before that, I want to use this opportunity to welcome all those that are joining us for the very first time here on the live stream. You're highly welcome. Okay, my name is Wendy, and I have here with me a realtor who has been here in Canada, and she's someone that I will always recommend for you if you're in Canada or you're planning on coming to Canada for anything that has to do with home buying, or maybe renting your house, or you want to lease your house. I would definitely recommend Kate for you. So in today's live streaming, we are talking about how things that you need to know, or how you can navigate through the Canadian real estate if you are looking out on buying your own home, or maybe you're planning on getting one, or you're planning on renting your own home as well. So you're highly welcome. Welcome to the live streaming. And again, please do well to give the live streaming a thumbs up, and also share it with your friends and family. Anyone that you know that will benefit from this video, from this content, please do well to share with them. All right. So moving ahead, I have some questions I will, like a couple of questions people has been asking me, which I am trying to get more answer from a professional like you. So the next one I would like you to throw more light on is you talked about Quebec and Toronto, that they are very good city to live or maybe to own a house. And I'm like, based on the question I have that people has been asking, what are the best area to live in Canada, if you are to advise?
Overall, Canada is a fantastic country. Everywhere is good, depending on your pockets. Still back to that. It all depends in different provinces. It's just that, just how it is back home, some cities are bigger than the others. So are the exposures, weathers are different. One of the things why we have in Vancouver, Toronto, they have better weathers. Houses are more expensive. Places like Alberta, Saskatoon, all those other places, Manitoba, they are cheaper houses, but they are colder weathers. So it all depends. It depends on you and what your budget is. And so for some people, they have family and everything. But generally, Canada is, anywhere you are, it's a good place. I've had someone reach out to me from Nigeria, wanted to rent a house and said, "Oh, please, please, I don't want where there will be armed robber, and my neighbor will enter my house." I was like, "Ah, where did you get this story from?"
I don't know.
I don't know. There is no armed robber. There is no thief.
Yeah.
Everywhere is safe. I will say 98% is safe. Canada were mostly made of immigrants, and everybody faced their front. If you have a neighbor that even greets you in the morning, thank God. No neighbor will walk into your house without you having a relationship. It's safe everywhere. Like, literally, it's a safe country. So, like I said, it's your budget and what you want. If I would say we have maybe some few wonky places, maybe like in everywhere, like downtown downtown Toronto, it depends. If you're staying in all these government houses where they deal with drugs, where there are gangs and stuff, yes, it can be a bit, it's a very funny place. But even if you mind your business, nobody will come and look for your trouble. In places like, we have people who say, oh, I don't like Hamilton. We have really nice subdivisions in Hamilton. Yes, Hamilton core might have drug addicts and all that, but it's not in your face. It's not, nobody is coming to chance you. So I would say literally everywhere is very safe. We don't, so yeah, I will say anywhere based on your income is safe. Like I said, Toronto and Vancouver are more expensive, but all the other provinces are a lot cheaper. Calgary, that's after Toronto and Vancouver. Calgary is another place that is growing. Alberta is growing a lot with really cheap houses, cheaper houses and everything. But I think it started snowing there like a month ago. We in Toronto, we are still enjoying some nice weather. So those are some of the gives and takes. But yeah, you make the choice.
Absolutely. Making a choice is very important. And again, knowing your why, what do you want? You know, like you said, is very important. And again, income, what you're earning will determine where you will stay. If you are earning pretty good income, yeah, you might think of going to a bigger city. If but the good part of it is that wherever you are in Canada, honestly speaking, it's still a very nice place. Whichever where it is, wherever it is, you don't have anything to worry about. You know, just like what you made mention, which I don't want to, because of YouTube, I don't want to call it again. So wherever you are, I think it makes sense. It depends on your pocket. It depends on what you can afford. You go for what you can afford, which is a very nice one. So, Kate, before we proceed, I would like to recognize the presence of some of our viewers that are here. Guys, we do see you all. Thank you for joining today's live. I have here Kamel. Thank you so much. And I have Chukuma Sylvester. Thank you, Chukuma. Thank you, Sylvester, for joining. I have Sienna. I have Uju, Eric. Thank you so much, guys. You all are welcome. I might not be able to call everybody's name, but in as much as that, you're highly welcome. Recognize the fact that you are here today in this live streaming. However, if you have any triggering question or there is something you need some clarification, please do well to drop it in the chat. I will still come back to it and ask those questions, and it's going to be answered to your own satisfaction. Okay? Yeah. So before we move ahead, while we move ahead, Kate, I would like you to throw more light in terms of what are the options to house ownership in Canada. What are the options people have?
So
Okay.
thanks
I
for
know
the
you've kind
question.
of talked a little about it, but can you please throw more light on that?
So there are different kind of options to house ownership in Canada. For some that have come in and they want to get a house immediately, you can do a resale. So this is where you go in, and once you've been approved from mortgage, you know how much you're qualified for, and you can go into the market and buy an existing home. So normally you go in, putting an offer, and then once your offer is accepted, you are able to get a house. Please note, in Canada, when you buy a house, not because you've put in the house is yours tomorrow. Mm-mm. When you put an offer, it takes a while. It depends. Some will give you, the seller might be 3 months, 6 months for you to close. It's when a house closes that it becomes yours. So when you put in an offer, they say, okay, we've taken your offer. And then the seller is now looking to move out. And then after like 3 months or 6 months, it depends on your agreement, the bank will now pay the seller off the balance, and then you own the house. Another option is through pre-construction. So what pre-construction does is you're able to meet. So we have um, building companies that sell houses. It might not be on ground. They will just tell you there's a plan. We're rolling out some units. You will come and put in deposits. So with this ones, it's easier for some people because you're able to make instrumental payments. And it depends in the city. Places like the GTA, it takes them between 24 12 24 months, 2 years It depends, because GTA builders can be very funny. Some can even take 3 years. But the thing is, with that is they let you pay money instrumental. So maybe they say sign off first 5,000, then after 30 days pay 10,000, then after another 30 days pay. So that gives room for you to build, and then you have time to build up your credit score, build up whatever you are, and close your house. So with the new construction, that means you're buying a brand new home. It's yours. You're the first person to live in the new construction. So that is another way of home ownership, but it's a long-term um, kind of way to acquire a home. But we notice that it's of a higher demand among immigrants. Immigrants will normally prefer the new construction, because it gives you room to be able to make adjustments to the building design. It gives you room to be able to, have some fixtures that you want, unlike when you're dealing with a resale. So those are some of the two key areas to be able to buy a house, to be able to get in. And for some of you that don't even have enough money, you can actually try to create. We've seen where 2, 3 people come together, they put their money together and buy a house. That is something that we've seen is quite common with some other um, 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 countries. They come together, they will buy a house. Once the house builds equity, they pull it out, the next person buys the house and all that. So you can form a community and do that for yourself. So those are like different ways in which you can actually get into options that you can get into the housing market.
Great one, great one. I have also seen like a community where they have a group of community. They come together, just like you said, they come together and buy a house, and as they are getting the equity, they are removing it. Another person will use that to buy
Yeah,
until everybody in
that's
that
what it is.
gets his or her own house, which is a good one. Because some people join hands together to do that. If you think that you don't have enough for only you to go into that, so this is a great one that anybody can equally think of. But another thing is that before you venture into it, you need to know the person very well. You need to be
Very
sure,
important.
right? So that tomorrow you will not have any stories and all that. And again, like you said, town home is another one that people can equally look out
Yeah.
for, or pre-construction as well, just like you said. Thank you, Kate, for that great answer. Then I have Eric. Eric says, is age a barrier? Uh, is age a barrier, or is age considered in getting access for a mortgage? What do you
No,
think about that?
no, it's not. Age is not considered. What is mostly important is your income. Age
Okay.
is not, yes.
So does it mean that even if you are not up to 18 years and you can decide to, I don't know,
So
can you just
in
explain?
that,
Yeah,
thanks for bringing me back.
because when you hear
No,
age is not a
in
barrier,
that
that means
sense,
anybody can just go into and
no.
say, I want to own a house.
That's a minor. Like I said,
Yeah.
unfortunately, minors cannot. But back to square one, it's
Hmm.
getting a mortgage. So anybody less than 18 cannot even earn money to be able to buy a house.
Yeah.
So, but if I'm looking at more of a reasonable sense of, maybe you feel you're older and you think that that will affect your mortgage, no, it doesn't. They are more concerned about your income.
Okay. So what it simply means is that if your income can carry you, whatever age you are, so for the fact that you are not a minor, you can
Yes,
definitely go for it. Good.
yes. Good,
Nice
good
one.
credit score.
Yeah, good credit score, very important too, because I know some people will come, they will just be eating without, repaying back, which doesn't say good about your credit score. Yeah, very nice. Then I have other questions that other question here. Okay, this one says, Sienna said, thanks for sharing your wealth of knowledge, Kate. Kate helped my cousin and her family find the perfect home before they relocated a few months ago. They still sing her praises till date. Wow, that's a good one. Thank you, Kate. That's
Yes,
nice to
Serena.
hear such a good news from one of us here. Abola said income first. Sure, income is very important. And Kamel said, love you, Wendy. I love you too. Uju said, sure, having a good job helps in getting a mortgage. Absolutely. Good employment history is very vital in getting a mortgage. Absolutely correct, sis. You are spot on. It's very important. And some other questions, comments that we have here. Thank you so much, guys. Remember, if you have any question, do well to drop it in the chat. And Kate is right here. She will delve into it and make you understand whatever question you have. So moving forward, Kate, I have like a few more questions I would like you to throw more light on. Can I buy a house as a student in Canada?
So currently, yes.
Mhm.
As a student, you're able to buy a house. Um, if you're a foreign student, so it all
Okay.
depends. So if you're a Canadian or PR, that's easier. But as a foreign student, yes, but they will have to go in and check if you're able to qualify based on your income back home. Um, and they will be able to give you, it's just as a student, you will be making a higher deposit, maybe like 35% of that amount. And they feel like students are a great risk, so you might be having a higher interest rate. Um, we do have foreign buyers tax that they put in on people that do not have status in Canada, which is currently 25% on the tax. So, for example, if you're buying a house of $1 million and you're not a PR or a Canadian citizen, the government is going to put in 25%. So that 1 million house, you'll be buying it for 1.250. That 250 on top is going to the government. But they will be able to refund if you can get a BR status within 4 years of you coming in. That's the only way they will give you back your money. We do have, the government is looking from January 1st, 2023, where they might put a ban on foreign buyers on resale. It might be there for 2 years. So that will be when we mean resale existing homes. Like when
Mhm.
I say you go in and buy a house, you come in, make down payment, they are looking to put a ban on that. So that is something that the government has not really been explicit on what the exceptions are. We're looking forward to January 1st to see if they will be able to expand more on who is exempted and who is not. But so far, yes, students can get a house. And Wendy, back to what we're saying about you
Okay.
working to get a mortgage. Uh, um, for you as new immigrants, for you to get a mortgage, the banks will expect you to work as a full time. So you have to be confirmed and work for like 3 months with your pay stub. You have to work as a full time employee. Some of you might come in and get jobs as a contractor where they pay you per hour. Yes, you make more money, but as a contractor, you have to prove you have filed income tax for 2 years to be able to qualify for mortgage. My advice to all newcomers is please make sure you and your wife or your husband try first to get a full time job, a high paying full time job. It's actually one the easiest way for you to get a mortgage.
Wow. Nice one. Thank you so much, Kate. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
that. So, in a nutshell, what you're saying is that as a student, you can still go into getting a house. It's just that the price might be a little bit higher, on a higher side, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So, I have some question again on the chat. This from Abola. Abola. Sorry if I did not pronounce your name very well. He said, what would be your advice as a new immigrant or someone looking to come into Canada soon? What do you suggest for rentals? I mean, they, typ- uh, they typically typical of house. I am an architect here in Canada, so he's trying to find out, what do you advise as a new immigrant coming into Canada, as in the kind of house they can rent?
So back to the initial thing,
Yeah.
it still depends on the amount, how many people are in your family. That actually impacts the kind of house you can rent. If you have 2 kids, you can get away with a 2 bedroom. If you have over 2 kids, we're looking at a 3 bedroom. If you have over 4 kids, we're looking at a 4 bedroom. That and your budget will actually be impacted. So what is your budget? Your budget will differ. The closer you are to the main city, the more expensive it is. The farther away you are, the more you have a better chance of getting a bigger home for a cheaper price. So it all, like we say, it all depends on you. And if some Nigerians are lucky that they're coming in, they've already gotten a job. Um, and if it's something you're doing remotely, that means you can actually stay wherever that is far from the city. But if you're someone that have to go into the city, I will say always consider where the transportation goes, like the GO station, what gives you quicker access to the city. And unlike some people will say, oh, I'm working in Toronto, I got a job in Toronto, I must live in Toronto. Just for your information, it doesn't mean because you live in Toronto means that you might get to work faster than the person living in Mississauga or
Mhm.
living 30 minutes away. Sometimes the traffic within the city itself. I've worked in Toronto where I had colleagues that lived in Toronto, and I lived like the train will take me almost 40 minutes. I get to work before they do. So it all depends where you are, what line, what the transportation is. Those are little things that you're able to check, and it's able to impact your decision. So for me, that's my advice. What your budget is, what is the size of your home, and what is your why, what is it. But so far, I think on a fair budget, um, you're able to find something suitable for yourself and your family if you're not bothered about distance.
Nice one. Thank you so much, Kate. And still the same person asking you this question, and I think it's part of what you just answered. But the different thing from what he asked is that he's asking, I want to know which typology of house is better to rent, and how much should be budgeted for such type of house with a family of three. Like, say, for instance, you are going for maybe a townhome, is trying to find out how much can one budget for it, or maybe you are going for a condo, or maybe a full detached house. I think that is what the question is focusing on.
So like for that amount of for that, I will say that for a family of three, you can actually get away with a 2 bedroom apartment, condos, and it depends. For those people going into condos and apartments, some people like it because it's a bit more convenient. There's no small parking. There are all these things that if you have a detached or a townhouse freehold, you have to deal with all those. So if for a family of three, I will say for you, you can actually manage a condo. Townhouses are normally like a 3 bedroom. So it depends. If you're someone that wants a bigger space, a
Mhm.
townhouse of a 3 bedroom, for example, if you're like uh, 15 minutes from the city, a townhouse can cost you as much as 4,000. Your 30 minutes from the city, it can cost you 3,500. Your 40 minutes, it can cost you 3,000. Your an hour, it can cost you, 2,800. You're an hour, and it keeps going, it keeps dropping the farther you go. So, like I always say, it still goes back to your budget. So, averagely, you look at what is convenient for you. One of the things that I'm struggling with, and this is something I've always spoken in my industry, I've spoken out to my superior in the industry, is that I find out that most Nigerians or most immigrants coming find it hard to get a house, or the landlords are insisting that they collect more of a certain amount months of rent. So I will advise those coming in, please make sure you are you're able to have enough. Maybe it gives you a better bargaining power if you're able to get at least 3 6 months rent. To some people you can say, okay, yes, I can deal with 2,000 a month, but do you have a 6 month of that 2,000 to give the landlord to give you an edge? We're struggling with that. I'm trying my best to make to actually let landlords know that some of the best tenants we get are Nigerians or immigrants, so that they will allow you, because the normal deposit for rent is the first and last month. So, but we see where landlords are asking for 6 months. Some landlord even ask for a year upfront. So those are things that you have to consider as well when doing that.
All right. Thank you, Kate. Thanks so much for those answers. It really helped, and I hope he heard you right. you know, yeah. And we have some other questions in the chat, which I would like to touch base on them before we move forward. I want to welcome all those that are joining us for the first time. I see you, Nelly White. Thank you so much for joining. Happy to have you, sis. Then I see everybody that are in here in this live. Sam, you're welcome. You all are highly welcome. Jesse, thank you so much for joining. So we have another question from Jess, and he said, as an international student, do I have to get my PR before before I make a move on getting a home on mortgage?
My recommendation is sincerely to be able to have access to the best facilities or to be able to get nice incentives. It's always good to get your PR. It makes things a lot easier. Even with mortgage, there are some expectations, some requirements that the banks expects from you as a student. For example, you have to have, because they're going to check your income from back home. So they don't take businesses, they don't take anything. You must be able to work like you have a proper job. They check your income, they check everything to be able to give you a mortgage. Uh, Even when they are looking at mortgages, even from the United States, you have to work for the 500 top companies. So those are things. Those are some of the requirements that they see. It's really not easy getting that mortgage unless you have the money to pay upfront. I will recommend that work towards getting a status in Canada before buying a house. Another way where you can beat the market is you could go into pre-con that will take 2 years to close. You work towards getting your status so that before you close, at least you already have a status and you can close as that by then. If not, but if you have the income to put down, yeah, they will be more than welcome to take it.
Yeah, yeah,
And you
that
can
is.
always, yeah, you can
You
always
said
reach
what?
out. No, I'm like, you can always reach out to me for more information or advice and
Yes,
things like that.
absolutely. For those that, yes, that's what I wanted to say. You can obviously absolutely reach out to Kate. I'm going to be dropping her handles. You can reach her out on Instagram, and also you can send an email as well. And if you feel like you want to kind of contact me directly, sure, you are happy. I'm happy to do that. Go ahead into that. I will send in the details in the chat. You can go into that, send an email or any form of communication that you want, maybe email or Instagram, and she will definitely be there to also go into detail in explaining some of the things that are still more kind of confusing, or maybe you want to uh, know more. Yeah. So thank you so much, guys. So please, if you are still in this live, please do well to give the live streaming a thumbs up, share with some other people, anybody that you know that will benefit from this. Please do well to share with them, encourage them to join the live. And also, if you are here and you have any question or there's something that you are kind of confused about regarding to real estate here in Canada, you are planning to move into Canada, or you are already in Canada and you are getting it all confused, please drop your message, your Drop your question in the comment box below, and Kate is here. She knows what she is doing. She has been into this business for some years now, and she will delve into it and explain all that for you. So you will be able to own your own house or even rent your house here in Canada. Okay. Thank you so much. Rega says you are a godsend. Thank you so much, Rega. We do see you very well. So let me see if there are other questions that we have. Okay, Rega said, good advice on knowing the person to partner very well, because people can change overnight. Yes, but with Kate, I know you are in the right track. Thank you, Bichi. Thanks so much for joining. Abby, thank you so much. You are highly welcome. Nelly White, we see you right here. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so quick question. So we have another quick question. She said, do you guys also have condo fees that are too high in Canada? The condo fees is what discourages propels for going for a condo. So she's trying to know if the condos are too high, if they are too expensive. It is like where she is, the condo is very high and it discourages people from going into buying them. So what do you think?
So those are some of very important things you look at when you're trying to buy condos. Buying condo it's a bit more complicated than buying a freehold homes, because a condo, there's a constitution, and you should know with condo homes they all depend on what the maintenance fee is. Some older ones are, and when we're buying condos, for me as a real estate, as a realtor, if I'm helping you buying condo, there's a lot of homework we have to put in. Sometimes you notice that condos, you have to check, find out what is the cost, and then you find out what is the ratio of landlord to tenants. So most condos that are higher tenants are higher landlords, that most of the owners living in the condos are the real owners, tend to have better maintenance than those that have a higher ratio of tenants. So because tenants will always misuse the condos, and so the companies are always needing to repair one thing or the other and all that, and condo fees keep increasing. So those are things that you yourself, before you go in, you do your maths, understand how much are you able to pay monthly, your mortgage, and how much will the condo fee are you able to add to it. So most condos, it depends on the kind of condos that you're going for. The fees are based on some square footage, some have whole bulk, some, it all depends. It's very important that you make sure you ask those things before you go into purchasing a condo. And as a realtor, we have to make sure, are we sure this is fixed for another 2 years or is fixed for another 5 years? They are not just going to be changing randomly. So those are things that you have to put in. And condos are two different types. There's a freehold condo where there's no payment, where they pay any fee, and then there's the one that you have to pay. So those are little things you put in. But for those that will be renting condos, you will not be impacted by the condo fee. The landlord takes care of the condo fee. So just in case you're thinking you're going to rent condo, nobody is going to ask you to pay condo fee. Condo fees are only paid by landlords.
Yeah, that's nice. And I equally see that some people said because of that condo fee, some people feel like going for condo. And again, in terms of renting, some people also feel like, parking snow, they will be like, it's better they go for condo so that they will not be doing all those. But when it comes to, when you come to like looking at the better side of it, I feel like going for a full detached or semi-detached it has more value. If I may say, it has more value in the long run than going for condo. But that doesn't mean that a lot of people don't go for that. Am I
No, the
correct?
thing, yeah, it all depends. So with condos are more located in the heart of the city.
Okay.
So condo, it's also can be a very good investment based
Mm-hmm.
on the location. There are
Location. Oh,
condos that will return, the return in investment is
investment.
higher than even a detached in another, somewhere farther off. So it all depends on the location of the condo. Some condos that are like in the heart of Toronto, it's, it's more expensive, but then there is a return because there's a demand when you want to sell it. There are people that their lives are in condo. With condos, you are closer to amenities. Even when you have condo, you might not even need a car because there's always like restaurants, stores, transit. It's very convenient for you in condos. But one of the cons about condo is for those that are family,
Mm-hmm.
it's not so conducive for the kids to go out because condo have smaller sizes, unlike to Wendy's point, when you're looking for a detached or a semi, those uh, those things are very popular. If you're single or you're on your own or you like city life, yeah, condo it can be a good one to go for. So it all depends on the person and the location. Location. That's the key for investments.
That is true. That is true. Condo is still good, like you said, and anybody can go for it. So, BBT, you've heard it from Kate. The price is not as high as maybe other people are thinking, or it depends on where you're staying. If the prices are high there, it's not always the same with Canada. Okay. Yeah. So I know very well, Kate, for newcomers that are new immigrants in Canada, and even for those that have stayed in Canada for a while, sometimes, making up that down payment, some people find it very tasking, to be honest with you. Because when you check your income, when you check so many things, and you are looking at the pockets, what you have left, some people find it so difficult in going into buying their own home. Is there anything or any way that you can advise that some people can do this in order to, as in, get all these uh money?
Yes. Oh, I went here. I understand.
I know it's a
Speaking
very, I know
about
it's a very
the
tricky question,
yeah,
kind of,
yes,
but honestly speaking,
it's
I would
really
like if
hard.
you can chime in on that.
Yes, I understand. It's really very hard saving money for down payments, especially for those that maybe you don't even have something back home that you can sell. In some
Mm,
situations, people sell their house back home and use that as the down payment. Uh, but in other scenarios, there are some private lenders that will actually lend you some money for your down payment, but
okay.
and it's also a killer because sometimes you are paying both you are managing the down payment that you borrowed and you're paying your mortgage. Another thing is you can actually take advantage of some platforms. I personally, in my journey of house ownership, I was able to go into a job.
Oh,
Yes. People,
really?
yes, it helps me greatly, especially when you're doing pre-con, that they will say in one
Yes.
month bring 10,000, in another
Yes.
bring 20,000. What you can do, find a community and you people go into a job.
Okay.
It's so funny that what my Ajo has grown into a big community right now. I have
Wow.
introduced a lot of people. We've had a lot of people have been able to become house owners through this platform. So
Mm,
you find where you fit. You will squeeze yourself for a while. You'll be doing contribution. You'll be contributing because you know the day you pack your 10,000, you go and give this thing. The day you pack your 20,000, if you're staying, for some people, they, just to be able to make it, you reduce your cost of living.
yeah.
So look for somewhere cheaper and stay. Some people stay in basement to cut costs so that they have more
Yes.
money to save towards buying. Some people don't buy car. They don't buy one small car. A family, they share one car. You
Yes.
don't need to husband have car, wife have car, you are paying insurance. Those things eat up your money. You have to be able to manage. So what you do is you cut your cost for a short time. Eh? If it's to say, okay, I'm looking for a cheaper accommodation, okay, let me be commuting 1 hour to town to get a cheaper rent, so we are able to even make 2,000 a month, save
Yes.
3,000 a month. If you're the kind of person that money does not stay in your hand, please come to our job. Do contribution. You give and they give as you're in. If they say, you are very strategic the day you collect. If
Yeah.
builder say bring 10,000, you know that that month you are the one collecting. The way you arrange it, it will be able to help you to get that. For me, I will always recommend, because some private lenders put a lien, or there's some things they actually, the interest rate can be over the roof. So some people go to private lenders, and at the end of the day, it's like they literally just put a gun on their head. So it's always being able to manage and plan. Just plan, give yourself time. And when it comes to home ownership, if it means that you have to compromise for a little while, but I bet you will smile at the end. It's not convenient, but you will be able to smile. Just cut that and save towards it. And it will be you will be happy at the end. I know it's never that down payment is like money in Canada, is like wind. Never, if it goes, it doesn't come back. So
Why do you call it a witch? Why do you call it that name?
it's wind, like it comes in. It's so funny. Some people, you come from Nigeria, you think you have money.
Yeah.
Hey, and you are leaving. That money, if it leaves, it doesn't come back.
Oh, you said it's like a wind.
Yes, I say it's like a wind.
Oh, okay. Now I get you right.
It doesn't come back, please.
Oh, I
So
see.
if you have money, please go and put it into a house or something. It will not come back when it leaves. And it's not like back home. One uncle will dash you something. They don't used to dash
Yeah.
here. Nobody dash you.
No, no,
So,
no, no, no. Here, there is nothing like that. There's something that you said that clocked my mind. When you said Ajo, I was like, why Ajo? But there are banks out there. I don't know that people still do those things. See, I know back
mm,
home. I know very well back home. People do it a whole lot, especially during when they have like a project they want to accomplish. I know so many people do that, and I know some people do maybe that kind of a job towards December and all that.
yeah,
But I never knew that those things exist here.
it
I'm
is.
just hearing it for the
Oh, it
first
is. It's
time.
big for me. Like, that's why I say, if you come through me, I have all these avenues. Because
Yeah.
my contribution, we started with 4 families.
Mm.
We started in 2016, and
Wow.
currently, I think within every 6 months we rotate more than 500,000. So
Wow.
we
That's a good one.
yeah, we're over 60 people from
Mm.
different countries in Africa. So it's not even just Nigerians. And I will tell you, over the years, we've never had anybody run away. And the good thing with the platform, so what we did, because the aim of our platform was to
Yeah.
help home buyers. Within my platform, we do have lending for members of our job. So you
Mm-hmm.
can come in and we'll loan you money for your down payment. We do that. So it has become a community that's evolved over time. So even if you don't, you can always start with family or friends.
Yeah.
I've noticed that that's one of easiest way to be. I will probably say that a lot of people through that platform have been able to create money, been able to save money, and do something better with it. So yes.
That is not bad anyway. For anybody that it will work for, is not a bad idea. And again, you said another thing which I feel that is still a good way you can save. Like coming in and staying in a condo, it doesn't hurt. Some people will say, hey, I don't want to stay in condo. Hey, I don't want to do this. And again, you said something that struck my mind. Another thing is that not going into buying maybe expensive car. It doesn't matter. You can go and buy just a minimal
The
kind of
basic.
car, manage yourself while you know that you have an investment, you have something you are looking up to, and not just spending the whole stuff you came in with, or maybe you have. having a very minimal kind of lifestyle is another good one to help you. And again, we all know that here condos, basement, staying in the basement is not that too expensive to talk of when you go and rent a big house and all that. That is a good one that you just made mention. Honestly, that Ajo one, I never knew. I never knew it still exists. Like seriously, I never knew. Anyway, thank you so much, Kate, for those insights. We still have some people that are dropping some comments. Guys, if you're here, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate you. Thanks for being in this live. And if you've not given this live a thumbs up, please do well to give it a thumbs up. And again, we are going to be ending anytime soon, but I don't want to end this live without attending to everybody's question in the chat. Yes, because I know I still see some few chats here. And yeah, Kate is going to be answering all those. Yeah, BBT said selling condo back in the US is just harder, but thank you for the advice. You see what I was telling you? Maybe it's very hard for them over there. Yeah, here in Canada, it's pretty much good and easy and all that. So I have another person. Sam said, how does one become a realtor? Do you
Oh,
need a license?
yes. So to become a realtor, you have to maybe you have to be PR, I guess, and you have to have a
Yeah.
status, and at least you have to have had like a secondary school leaving certificate, and then you have to go through Humber College. It's a series of exams, maybe 4 or 5 exams. You have to pass one to get to the other. You have to pass the other. So yes, you need certification to be able to become a realtor.
And it's not only Humber that does those certification exam. Am I correct?
It's only Humber. You can only
Oh,
get
it's
it
only
through
so
Humber.
if you're in another
If you are if
province.
no if sorry, I'm speaking to Ontario. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
aware of other. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
So possibly they will still have in other
yeah, they
province
will
and
have
all
their
that.
own way of.
It's just
So
for
yeah,
one to make some little
yeah.
research around it.
But all provinces will require certification. So you're going to write an exam.
Okay, okay. All right, that's good. Then I have here Roger said, as a student, what is the least affordable accommodation you will recommend?
As a student, I will say that sincerely, rent a room, shared apartments.
Mm-hmm,
Rent a
mm-hmm.
room. I think I currently have an apartment that I'm leasing room by room, and sincerely, like I said, just inconvenience yourself. Just get one room. It's way cheaper than trying to get a condo, getting a basement, getting a this. Share the bathroom, share kitchen, manage yourself because you have the room to yourself. And like I said, this place is safe. Nobody comes in. So I will say, as a student, if it's just you coming in, I'll recommend look for rooms, shared apartments, shared accommodation. That will be way cheaper for you.
Okay, that's good. Shared accommodation, get a room share and all that. It's going to help you as a student. Then I'm going to see if we have any other question. We have here, okay, Roger, I've already answered Roger's question. Remy said, interesting. Thanks, Kate, for the information, Ebony said. And Lily said, hi, girls. Which are the best affordable city for someone who wants to relocate to Canada alone and does not have any relative? I think you've answered it, but maybe she joined in lately. So maybe you can just throw a little light on that.
So back to my like what I said initially, it all depends on how much you have. Some cities are more expensive than the other. The bigger the city is, the more expensive it is, and the more exposure you get from the bigger cities than the smaller cities. The rent is smaller in the smaller cities. Weather will impact. So the two big cities that are more expensive is Toronto and BC, British Columbia. And then
Yeah.
there are other upcoming places like Calgary, Alberta, Zakas, Manitoba, like all those other ones, they are just colder. And if you're someone that is very social, some people they are the life you just like to jai, you like to party. Toronto is the place for you. So
Be small to Jai.
like some people like to party, like you
Yes.
just move fine.
Life of the party.
Life of the party, I will say Toronto is the place for you. But if you're a very laid back person, you can always go to all the other provinces based on your income or based on your budget. But like I said, it's all good. And please note that even in Toronto and in BC, there's still
Yeah.
places that you can afford. It's just that they might be a bit further away from the core city itself. So but it's not like it's bad. You can always, and like earlier on, I've had Nigerians say, "Oh, 40 minutes is too far. 1 hour." No, we in Canada like this. 1 hour is nothing. We just blow it and you blow back. You don't even feel it. So please, if you're coming here, when somebody, oh, it's 1 hour away, it's 30 minutes. You people say, oh, 30. No, you don't even know that you have done 30 minutes. You just go and come.
Right. Thank you so much, Kate. Okay, so we're going to be rounding up soon. I just have like one more question to ask you before we call it a night or a day, depending on where you're watching us from. Yeah, the next question I would like you to more like elaborate a little bit is I know very well, and we all know very well that right now interest rate is kind of on a little bit on a high side now, and a lot of people really want to delve into buying their own home and all that. Do you think that this is a good time for one to go into buying a new house? What's your take on that?
So my take on that will still go back to your pockets. It is always a good time to buy if you have the money.
Mm-hmm.
If you're able to, with the interest rate, like I said, the market it balances itself out. So let me
Yeah.
give you a scenario. Let's say in March this year, properties that were listed for, like, let's say, let me use 1 million because it's easier to do the math. Let's say a house was listed for 1 million. There was a bidding war. That house could be sold for 300,000, and then you're going to put in 20% of that money. 20% of that money, of let's say 1 3, we're talking 1 million is already, we're talking 200, another 300, it's like 330 or something. I don't know if I got it right. You're going to put that down for the month before you get the rest of the mortgage. And let's say your payment comes into, at maybe February, you were paying like 4 5.
Mm-hmm.
That same property that was 1 million in February, that same property now is, they will put it up in the market 1 million, you buy it maybe 850 or 900. That down payment has reduced from your 300. So even if you are putting 20%, you are talking of 160. And this is what I tell people. By the time you check that 300 that you went to add on that money, that 300,000, and the interest rate that maybe takes you an extra 1,000, do you know how many years it will take you to finish that 300,000 that you just added on that money?
Yeah.
And the good thing with the interest rate is when you buy now, when it goes down, you refinance your house and
Mm-hmm.
get the existing interest rate. It's not a lifetime commitment. I will say, please, if you have the resources to buy a house, do not sit on it. This is the best time to buy,
Yeah.
especially now that is the buyer's market where you are able to negotiate. The power is in your hands. The moment that interest rate comes down, everybody is going to run into here. Bidding war is going to come up, and then the prices are going to go out, and then you're going to not be able to even afford it, because sometimes your approval, you might not be able to get it the moment it gets into the seller's market. So please, if you do have, please go and get a house. The right time to get a house is when your money is complete. Do not look at what the market is saying. It always balances out. And please, one of my advice as an interior designer, there's one thing I would like to advise immigrants coming in. Do not be carried away by the flashy things. Some of you go into a house, here you see his stage is looking beautiful, is everything. That beauty, you are paying extra 100 or 200,000 for it. I always will say, for me, when I go into a house, I see beyond the walls. Sometimes the rundown houses are the best for you, especially those of you starting new. Please make sure you focus on what is the square foot of the house.
Yeah.
Focus on what are the washrooms. They are very important. These are things that impact your resale. Location, if it's very important. Do not get carried away with flashy things. And I always say, what is your why? I noticed that in real estate, during summer, people that want to buy a house, they will tell you that, hey, Kate, I want my house to have big backyard. Because maybe they went to a friend's house, they did barbecue in the back, this backyard. Please, that backyard is not just backyard. There's maintenance to backyard. There is mowing. You have to do landscaping, and it's not cheap. Please, and note, because I had a client that told me, and I had to call her out. I see the small grass in front of your house. Your husband has not cut it. It's big backyard that you want. It might not work for you. Yes. So please know what works for you. Don't be carried away. Yes, there are possibility you go to someone's house and say, oh, I want it. No, please know your why. How does it work for me? Do me living here, will it help me? It will not. Please know that wherever you
very,
live,
very important to, sorry to cut you short.
Wherever you live in Canada, you will get access to all the facilities that whoever is in the city is getting. Our banks are the same, no matter the province you are staying in. You're either going to be RBC, TD, BMO. It's the same thing. It's the same Walmart, no freeze. It's the same people that own it. It's the same phone. It's the same thing. So please do not feel like, oh, because I'm in the city, I'm cut short. No. We all have access to the same thing. So be very wise when making your decisions. And like I said, you can always reach out to me to understand what your situation is and advise you what best works for you.
Wow. You can never say it enough, honestly. You can never say it enough. You see that backyard of a thing. Like, seriously, a lot of people like having very massive backyard. But when it comes to maintaining it, it's a problem. It's a problem because you are still going to use the lawnmower to go and clear them. It's not a bad thing. Honestly speaking, I'm not saying that having a big backyard is bad. It's good if you can. And again, remember that when you are going for a big backyard, that determines with what you're going to be paying, because those are the things they factor in. But notwithstanding, there are some people that still feel like, hey, I can do it, I can maintain it, I have it. Why not? You go for it.
Yeah, but I think love it. A lot of people like outdoor. If you like outdoor, that should be what you. That's why you know your why. I like to say, but please note, we live in a country of seasons, so it's not like you have access to that backyard round the clock. Some people want swimming pool at the back. You might only use that swimming pool 3 months in a year because of our weather. In winter, those things do not come into. You don't really have access to it if you're staying in some of those cold areas. So those are things that you should also, what is my access? What is the access that I have, or how long can I use this thing? So those are things that you should put into consideration as well.
Great and amazing points you have dished out today, Kate. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. We thank you so much for coming on board.
Thank
and
you.
for always enlightening us on those answers and those questions. We really appreciate you. And for those that are still around, we say thank you so much for sticking around with us. It's not an easy one. And I want to use this opportunity to also thank my good friend, Nelly White Lion. Thank you. I see that. Thank you so much for super chatting me. I really appreciate you. And also, BBT. Thank you so much. Love, love, love to all of you here in this live streaming. Thank you so much. Fayemi, thanks so much for connecting all the way from Ikolodu, Lagos State, Nigeria. Thank you. I really appreciate you. We have so many people connecting from different places. We have people from US, we have from UK, India, and so many other places, even Nigeria as well. Like I just made mention now, and also Canada right here. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you all. And in case if you have any other question or you really want to connect with Kate, you have an opportunity to do that. I'm going to drop all our handles in the comment chat, in the comment box right now. You can always send an email or you can connect on Instagram and we'll be able to respond back to you. Okay? Thank you so much. I really appreciate. No problem, friends.
Thank you,
No
Wendy.
worries. You are not late. We are still going to have this next time. Okay? And again, the video will be in my channel, so you can do well and rewatch them. If you have any question, reach out on our social media handles and we will surely respond back to you. Thank you so much, Sister Uju. I can never thank you enough. You know that. Kate, we are really happy to have you today. And I hope next
Thank
time
you
if we
much.
call you, you always come in to grace our
Definitely.
channel and also educate us more regarding to real estate. And again, if you're in Canada and you're looking for maybe having a very nice decors in your home, Kate is your go-to person. Like seriously, she's into interior decoration. If you are in Canada or anywhere around Canada and you are looking at having a very cozy home at a minimal and also not too expensive, she's your go-to person. Okay, reach out and she will always be there to deliver to you. All right, thank you so much, guys. We're going to be calling it a day today. We're going to be ending this streaming right now, and I want to say a big thank you. But before I do that, Kate, do you have any parting word for our viewers?
I just want to thank everybody for finding out time to be on the platform and trying to learn more about real estate in Canada. To Wendy's point, we're open. If you need more questions, you need to reach out to me or Wendy, or you need uh, my help to engage you on your next purchase or even renting a home. You're more than welcome to reach me. I'm here at your service, and just to make sure that your journey to home ownership, it's it's seamless, it's great. And this is home ownership is one of the best ways to actually make money in Canada. Like, this is where people build their wealth. Real estate is something that it is big, and it will still keep growing. Immigration, the demand and supply, that we are not able to meet the housing demand. So please don't sit on it. Come in and get a bite of the cake as soon as you can. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you. We can't thank you enough, honestly. I know there are so many things I heard in this life that I don't even know before now, but you've made me to know them, and I'm really grateful. And I hope the same thing goes with our viewers out there, everybody watching us right now. I know they will feel the same. Thank you so much, Kate. We're going to be saying bye to everyone. And yeah, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do well to click on the red subscribe button. Always watch our videos that we do put out there. Remember, I do content on lifestyle, my lifestyle as an immigrant living here in Canada, and also how you can migrate to Canada seamlessly. So if you find all those interesting, don't forget to uh, turn on your post notification while you subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time in another live video. Okay,
Take
bye
care.
everyone.
Bye.
Mwah. I love you all. Bye.
Bye.